like this. I'm going live. Yeah, hold on. All right, I'm gonna get off the phone. What's up, everybody? We're gonna try to do something a little bit different. I want to make sure my tech and everything is good. Um, we gotta get TikTok in here. Make sure that y'all can hear me okay. Welcome to the Antidote. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. Can y'all hear me okay? Here we go. Here we go. Yes, 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 yes. We got a couple things I want to talk about tonight. We're gonna let people join. If you're checking this out after Thursday night, appreciate it. Please go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. All of that. What's up, TikTok? How are we doing? Twilla, what's up? Thanks for being here. This is the antidote, y'all. We are going to analyze the world, and I'm going to make the argument for why responding to the chaotic times that we find ourselves in, responding in ways that align with what some folks might call being a social justice warrior is actually good for you. It's actually good for us. It's the antidote to the division and the hate and the isolation that plagues our society right now. So thank you for being here. Opossum Nation, how you doing? TikTok, can y'all hear me okay? I got this little mic going on too. I got both mics. This is supposed to connect to y'all though. Uh yeah. Welcome to the live chat. To the live chat. Anthony, if you're in the live chat, can you hear me? Type in there if you can hear me. What's up, wonderful people? We're going to get started in a couple minutes, y'all. We're going to get started in a couple minutes. Wanted to test out. I got a little new equipment. Want to make sure everything is good. I think it is. I think it is. I think we are good to go, y'all. This is the antidote. This is the antidote. Tan Man, what's up? Here we go. Hold on, I gotta now live on the channel. Now live on the channel. They're letting people know. Hey, if you're on TikTok, go ahead and like this. Let people know that we're live. We're about to start the antidote. We got a couple stories tonight. We're going to talk about DEI in the military. I went live a couple nights ago on TikTok to talk about this story, but the firing of General Brown and the nomination, and it is a nomination of Dan Kane, about the squares looking white boy that you could see. And General Brown was a 40-year vet, and he was let go because Donald Trump didn't like his commitment to DEI. Charles Q. Brown. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about this absurd video. Did y'all see this video that I can't say Trump put it out. Trump what's a thing on True Social? What do they call his stuff? I don't even know what that is, but he reshared it on True Social. It's an AI video of Trump Gaza. It's got the corniest little song on it, and all that. We're gonna talk about the absurdity and just how deranged of a human you have to be to do that, to support that, to think that any of that is okay. And again, we're gonna make the case, y'all, that we gotta do something better. We need this. The antidote is looking for relationships, looking for a community. We're gonna start here in about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. So jump on here. Tell your friends to jump on here. If you're not joining us on Thursday night, it is Thursday night. We do this at 8 p.m. Eastern every Thursday night. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. If you're catching this after, thank you. It doesn't matter where. We appreciate anywhere you get this. But go ahead and like this. Go ahead and share it, y'all. We're gonna get started. We got 3 minutes. I'm taking live Q&As from TikTok folks. Live Q&As through TikTok folks. Before we get started with the show. Again, this is the antidote. Thank you so much for being here. We're gonna analyze the world and look for ways to heal from this division, this hate, this absurdity. TikTok folks, can y'all hear me okay? Look, I got this little mic going. I want to make sure you can hear me. The jacket ain't hitting it. All of that. If you could just jump in the chat, just let me know. In the chat. Just let me know. Y'all know what it is. Can you hear me okay on TikTok? Can y'all hear me okay on YouTube? Jump in that chat. I'm really digging this. Encourage your viewers to share their live. Yes, share the live. That's what it's telling me to tell y'all. Share the live. Tell people to join us. We are going to get started here very shortly. Very, very shortly. 2 minutes. 8 o'clock Eastern. Thank y'all for being here. Again, this is meant to be conversational. This is meant to be dialogical. So I'm taking questions now. I will take questions throughout. My name is Ryan Verdon. I'm a culture worker. I'm born and raised in Minneapolis. I currently live in the A. I had to get out of the Minneapolis winters, and here I am. And we do this. I'm a professor. I was a teacher. I run cultural coaching. Got a book coming out. I'm gonna invite y'all to cop that book when it comes out. You'll be there. Also doing some things. You can check out lyricculturalcoaching.com. We got a program. I'm doing the co-facilitating with the amazing Anika Naila. It's called DEI 2.0, new rules, new tools, where we're going to talk about how is it so effective that this DEI, this attack on DEI, why is it so effective? Telling some hard truths. Seeing some folks saying that now, like, yo, we was handing out DEI certificates like they were water. Nobody had to study or nothing. And that's a part of why this has been so effective. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to introduce some new tools and build a community. So if you're interested in that, go ahead, check out lyricculturalcoaching.com. You can sign up for that course there. All right. All right, y'all. It is about that time. It is about that time. So here we go. We're going to get into it. Thank you for being here. This is the antidote, where we look at what's happening in the world, all the craziness, and we analyze it to see, yo, how can we heal? How do we heal from this hate? How do we heal from this division? How do we get right together? And that is what the antidote is about. I am your host, Ryan Verdon. It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you like this. Make sure you subscribe. We're trying to build this community, so we take it seriously. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. Doesn't matter to me where you join us. Thank you for being here. Let's jump right in tonight. Our first story has to do with really a continuing story, the newest iteration of Donald Trump's attacks on DEI and the Trump administration. So if you don't know, and I'm sure you do, but we'll just recap just in case. If you don't know, Trump came to office on a promise of rolling back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. On the right and in the minds of some white folks, diversity, equity, and inclusion means hating white people, discriminating against white people, lowering the standards is often a talking point that you'll hear. Which is, of course, not true. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time disproving that today, because it should be fairly obvious that it's not true, right? Like, if you see a person of color, if you see a woman, or you see a queer person, or you see a disabled person, and you automatically think that they're in that position over a white person, or that somehow they had the qualifications for that job or that position lowered in order for them to be there, that is pretty telling of where you're at as a human being, I would say. You have so thoroughly internalized whiteness that you believe inherently that people who are not like you are less than. That is the definition of white supremacy. right? That is the water we swim in. Everybody gets that message, right? White folks are attracted to that message because it makes us feel better, right? And we're attracted to that message whether we know it or not. So diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, we're saying, hey, y'all are attracted to this, and the way it works is that you get your little group of people together, and you think that y'all can do everything, but actually there's this whole world of talent. There's this whole wider world of wonderful things and skills and exceptional people and exceptional practices and ideas, and we want all of that because that's actually what's good, right? And so those are what DEI initiatives have. Also, the other thing is like, oh, hey, just because you might be using a wheelchair, for example, or you have dyslexia and it's hard for you to read, that doesn't mean that you're stupid, or that doesn't mean that you're inferior. And we are going to adjust to meet your needs so that we can get the most out of you. That is what DEI is about, right? Thank y'all for liking it. Please tell your friends, join it. We're talking our stuff over here. Also over on YouTube, TikTok. So Trump came to power by railing against those initiatives, by saying these are opportunities and resources taken from particularly white men, cis hetero white men, and given to undeserving people of color and other marginalized groups. And so he rode that wave, right? He rode that wave because we're not very critically literate as a country and as a society. And a bunch of white people were like, oh, shit, that sounds terrible. Yeah, I don't like that. That's bad. They shouldn't be doing that. Nobody ever bothers to see if they were actually doing that or not. But, you get it. You get the idea, right? So here we are. And one of the places that the anti-DEI wave has hit the hardest is the military. We had the very first female admiral. I believe her title was an admiral. I apologize. She was let go. She was openly queer. She advocated for DEI policies, and she was let go. And then just this week, we had Charles Q. Brown Jr. He was the Joint Chiefs of Staff, y'all. Not a minor position. Not a minor position at all. Big time position. And 40 years of service. 40 years of service. A 4-star general. The type of cat that you would think the manly mans that Trumpers say they are and that MAGA people say they are would want. This is the type of dude that they would want, right? He's not a pacifist. He's not saying defund the military. Some stuff I would want. This is a 4-star general with 40 years of service. The Joint Chiefs of Staff. And he's on Anthony, I got you in the chat. Yes, they're showing up. You can hear me good? Let me know if you can hear me good on YouTube. Let me know if you can hear me on TikTok. So this dude, though, 40 years of service. He's a black man. Charles Brown Jr., 4-star general. He gets let go. And the reason he gets let go is cited he's too woke. He supports wokeness. He supports DEI too much. And so they let him go. They let him go. That right there should be like, whoa, what's going on? Well, let's pump our brakes, right? Let's pump our brakes and see what's happening. But no, it doesn't. That's not what happens. And I want to pause here because I did a live a couple nights ago, and I seen some chats about this, and some folks were like, "Yo, I did a thing on TikTok. You should go share that, reshare that. It's a couple things ago." But one of the comments, the dude said, "Well, he supported DEI at West Point and stuff like that. It's not that he was a DEI hire. He just supported DEI." Okay, sure, okay. I'm not sure that matters though. I'm not sure that matters, right? Because again, supporting DEI is something we all should do. This is good for us. And I'm talking specifically here to white folks. This is good for us. I cannot say this enough. One, it's good just on a very superficial level. It is good for us because we get access to all the talent of the world, all the different peoples, all these multiple perspectives. We get different ways of doing things, different approaches. We're in competition with the entirety of the world's talent pool, which is ironic here because one of the things that people who are against DEI and against things like affirmative action will say is that it undercuts the self-esteem of recipients, of people of color. Mainly they're talking about people of color. They ain't ever really talking about the major recipients of DEI and affirmative action, which were white women. They're not worried about that. They certainly ain't worried about the mental health and the morale and the self-esteem and the ego of the mediocre ass white men that get elevated in these positions, right? They're sure as hell not worried about them. How do we know? We're going to jump back to what Trump did here at the Pentagon and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Right? Again, like this, share this, invite more friends to jump on this live, please, so we can get it. Monique, what's up? How you doing? Susie, how you doing? Lamona, how you doing? Over on YouTube, let us know. Yeah, so let's get back to the Pentagon, y'all. Let's get back to the Pentagon. So Trump gets rid of 4-star General Brown. And then he nominates the goofiest of goofies. Dude looks like Squidward. I'm not even going to lie. Dude looks like Squidward. And he is only a 3-star general. Dude's retired. He's not even actively in the military anymore. Dude is retired. His name is Dan Cain. Go Google Dan Cain right now. I wish I could show. I can't figure out how to do all this tech stuff. We're going to figure this out. But I can't show you on YouTube what he looks like. Again, it's on my TikTok, though. This dude's a 3-star general. He has never served in the positions that are required to be nominated to the Joint Chiefs of Staff to lead that, right? He does not meet the requirements. Now, remember, the reason that General Brown was let go was because he supported DEI policies too much. And DEI policies have been framed as the lowering of standards. Donald Trump literally lowers the standard for his nominee. This is what is happening in our world today, y'all. This is what is happening. Literally lowers the standard. So now he's going to nominate. They do have to be approved by the Senate. We'll see, right? Who knows what's going to happen. What he says, Elon Musk is supposed to be approved too, but we see how well that's going. Pete Hegseth, chat over on YouTube, no worse than Pete Hegseth. Absolutely terrible decision. I agree with you. But this is so blatantly the exact opposite of what he says he was against, right? It ain't even like he went and nominated another 4-star general who's super hawkish, who's right wing, who does that. That would be bad enough, right? That would be bad enough. But nah, this dude literally nominates somebody who is not qualified for the position. He is going to need a waiver from the Senate in order to be appointed. This is the very definition of DEI, of identity politics, right? And it's important that we know before we can get to where do we go from here, how do we heal from this type of thing, we got to name the wound, y'all. We got to name the wound. And this is what I call the wound of whiteness. This is what this is, right? White mediocrity gets celebrated, gets protected, so much so that we get in our feels, we as in white men, I'm a cis hetero white man, get in our feels when we get held to a standard and gotta compete. And this is what is happening at the highest levels of our government, at the highest levels of our society, right? Look at the tech billionaires falling in line. Jeff Bezos just turned the Washington Post editorial into op-eds about personal liberties and the free market. These are things that you should hear. I want to oppress as many people and exploit as many people as I can, and the markets get to rationalize that, right? That's crazy. So here we are. Thank you, Susie, for liking this. If you're joining on TikTok, hello, happy you're here. Like this, invite your friends to join and to follow. YouTube, appreciate it. Make sure you like this, especially in the police forces that can't have outliers in charge. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so here we are, y'all. This is what America is based off. Mediocre white men getting elevated and protecting their status. Protecting their status. So what do we do about this? Why is combating that, standing up, why am I, as a cis hetero white man who would seemingly benefit from this type of scenario, why am I saying, yo, we gotta stop? We gotta stop doing this. Here's the reason why. Is because when you accept those types of things, when you accept the logic of whiteness, and especially linked with toxic masculinity, when you accept these things, what you're doing is saying, I'm going to give up a piece of my humanity, right? And you have to give up some of your humanity in order to do these things. You just have to. And our second story today. Thank you, Lindy, for liking this. Appreciate you. Invite your friends. Make sure you follow. You definitely have to give up some of your humanity. Our second story tonight is going to demonstrate this particular point a little bit more clearly. But for right now, what I want to say is, one, again, it's just on the face of it against our best interest, because what we're doing is saying we will only accept the talent and the perspective and the skill set and the intelligence and the moral compass of one segment of the world's population, white American men. That is the only thing that we value. That is such a small, tiny TikTok, tiny YouTube, tiny portion of the world's population that when we do that, we are limiting ourselves, right? And now those arguments that they make against people of color in affirmative action, they apply to white folks. How good could we actually be if we had to compete, right? How good would Babe Ruth have actually been if he had to go up against Josh Gordon, right? How good would some of these people, white folks, how good could we have been had we had to compete, right? It's limiting our own potential. So that's one reason. That's a very, very superficial reason, though. The real reason that we should care is because of what it does to our souls. It's because of what it does to our souls, y'all. To believe that whiteness, and whiteness is even a real thing. Don't even get me started on that. Go check out Learning with Lear. To believe that there is something inherently better about you because you have a lack of melanin in your skin is so wild. And it requires such a disconnect from the creator and from creation that we give up a piece of our souls. That we give up a piece of our souls when we do this. Stuart, thank you. Brett, thank you. If you got questions, shout them in the chat. Make sure you like this live. Invite your friends to join. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. So yeah, there's that piece, right? And so the antidote here is to step out and support DEI policies. The places that you work. All of y'all watching right now, hello. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Maria. Thank you for being here. All of y'all watching on YouTube right now, tell your place of employment, we will not stand for a rollback in DEI. We absolutely will not. And I would even encourage you, let's get used to saying the words diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? And if you need somebody to make that, you want to practice that pitch, you want to edit that email, holla at me. I will do that for you for free, right? But we, in our spheres of influence, have to tell people we are not going for it. We are not going. And we are not going to limit our talent to just one group of people. We are not going to limit our connection and our ability to build community with one group of people. That does not make sense. That is not in our best physical interest, our best spiritual interest, our best mental interest. It's not in our self-interest at all, right? The only thing that is in our self-interest is mutual interest, is building community together. That is what is actually our self-interest. And it is whiteness and all these things that gets in our way, right? And it erodes us. It erodes us, as our second story tonight is going to demonstrate very, very clearly. It is a story that just, it's heartbreaking. Again, it's heartbreaking. Last week we talked about the young girl and who committed suicide because she was being bullied in her classroom. This is tragic on a much larger scale because it's been going on for so long. But before we get to that story, I want to take any questions. Any questions you have about anything I just said about the DEI and the military. Also, y'all, tell Dan, let's not have Dan Kane there. Let's just get rid of the Pentagon. How about that? We're worried about government efficiency. Let's stop investing in weapons of war and death. How about that? Let's do that. Military. Larry Bird was the coldest Larry Bird was the coldest white boy to pick up a basketball, except for Jason Williams. I'm going with white chocolate over Larry Bird. I'm just gonna put it out there. My generation, I like that. Any other questions? Anybody over on YouTube, on TikTok? Questions? No? All right. Well, let's get to this second story, y'all. And this is just wild. So as you know, or you should know, we are witnessing a genocide in real time in Gaza, in Philistine, and I think we're a little bit numb to it at this point, and that's sad to say, right? So we just need to always keep our eyes on Gaza. We need to keep our eyes on Congo, Sudan, all the places that genocide is happening, all the places that are the most vulnerable to this corrupt, wicked system that we live in. But today I want to talk about Gaza because Donald Trump, some that may find uncomfortable, has been restricted. Oh no. Okay. Somebody was in the comments talking greasy, huh? I just got a warning. I didn't see nothing though. So I don't know. Or maybe because I said Palestine. I didn't even say Palestine, I said Philistine. Anyway. Donald Trump, it's unclear who made this video. But what we do know is Donald Trump shared it on his platform on Truth Social. It is an AI generated video of Gaza as the Riviera of the Middle East. It has a really corny, if Gaza and Trump, that's what we're talking about, Anthony. It's a really, really corny rap song in there. Very, very corny. If you're on TikTok, thank you for liking this. Invite your friends. Make sure you hit that like button. We're talking real stuff. This is The Antidote. We do this every Thursday night. Right now we're talking about that AI video that Trump about Gaza. So it's like a luxury hotel, right? It starts with all the demolition, the demo, and how bad it is. Now it's important to remember and never lose sight of how Gaza got like that. Gaza has been occupied and has been largely considered an open air prison, right, for decades. The Nakba happened in 1948, right? So we're talking about 70 years of this, and so they've never had freedom. Let's be clear. Israel has always controlled the air, water, and land around Gaza, and after October 7th, they executed a vicious and brutal military campaign with the goal of ethnic cleansing. I think to argue that is not the goal at this point with what we're seeing right now is to be willfully ignorant to the point of malignant. Like, that's harmful. That's harmful to be that ignorant, right? It's one thing. I've talked to some people that are like, hey, I didn't think that they were actively committing a genocide. I was wrong. Right, I didn't think their goal was ethnic cleansing, but now I can see. I have a modicum of respect for that, for changing your mind. At least you can change your mind. The reality is, though, you should have never have thought that. Everybody knew what this was, and we've been trying to tell people. But anyway, back to the story, Ryan. Don't get on too much of a tangent. Back to the story. So Trump starts with the rubble and the demolition, and then it's like, pew, and it becomes this luxury resort, and it's Trump all over. His name is everywhere because that's all he does. That's all he ever does. He doesn't actually produce anything. I want people to understand that. He didn't run a successful business. He didn't do shit except for be on The Apprentice and plaster his name on things that were already kind of successful. Most of the stuff he put his name on wasn't even successful. So, but anyway, this video has his name over everything. It's all in gold. And then, and this is the part that's crazy, yo, it shows Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu having cocktails with their shirts off. The gold Trump statue, yes, Susie, the gold Trump statue. They have no shirts on. Elon Musk is there. He got 6 fingers. That always makes me think of the 6-finger man. He's kind of evil, like the 6-finger man. If you're a Princess Bride fan, you get that reference. Can I get a like for a Princess Bride reference? It's not often you get to throw that in. Come on now. So if you're watching this, hit that like again. You gotta love a Princess Bride reference. Yeah. So it's Elon Musk, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Donald Trump chilling in Gaza after developing it, and the song is like Trump Gaza, Trump Gaza. It's a really corny rap song. It is the most naked, brazenly genocidal, colonial, racist, despicable display that you will ever see, and that says a lot. That says a lot. The audacity, not even the audacity, the sheer lack of humanity that it requires to make that video and then to share that video, right? You have to not see Palestinians as human in order to do that. You have to believe they are less than human and have a goal of exterminating them, to be thinking about their homeland as a site of real estate development and as commodity and a way to make money. I just want to, like, babies are being bombed. There's active genocide happening in that place. And Donald Trump is talking about creating a luxury resort. Do we even have to talk about the erosion of somebody's humanity to understand this? Like, do we have to articulate what that is? Babies are dying. 50% of Gaza's population is under 18. There are no schools in Gaza left. There are no hospitals. They haven't had food. 3 babies this week froze to death because Israel refused to bring in adequate shelters as a part of the ceasefire. And our president is sharing a video of that land, that sacred land, being an all-inclusive resort, making light, having a video with the picture of him and Benjamin Netanyahu shirtless, chilling, drinking Mai Tais or whatever it is that they're drinking in that dumbass video. The soullessness of that. I don't know if that's a word. If it isn't, it should be now. The soullessness of that moment is hard to put into words. It's hard to understand. But yet here we are. Here we are. Hey, I got that text. Holla at me tomorrow, Monique. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so this is where we're at, y'all. This is where we're at. So what do we do? What's the antidote to that, right? Because it ain't as simple as tell your place of employment that you're not going to roll back DEI, right? It's not as simple as don't spend money at Target, which, by the way, don't spend money at Target. Don't forget that's tomorrow or today if you're watching this on YouTube after. Don't spend money at Target. It's not that simple, right? We have institutions of higher learning expelling students who are speaking out against the genocide in Gaza. We have job postings where the governor of New York is getting involved and saying you got to remove this job posting for a Palestinian professor. Didn't have anything in there in the job posting about what the ideological bend is. Just somebody that studies Palestine critically, thinking about power and has a broad viewpoint, a historical analysis of Palestine. And here we are. Can't even do that. Again, I can't reiterate, this is in the face of babies dying, 2,000-pound bombs being dropped on a population that has been occupied for decades, that has no standing military, that is 50% of the population is under 18. Vast majority of the deaths are women and children. This is where we are. As Dr. Glaude would say, Eddie Glaude would say, this is America. This is who we are. So what's the antidote to this, right? Here it is. Here's the antidote to this. We have to talk about Gaza. We have to resist the conflation of anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. And I've lost multiple contracts since October 7th because I refuse to say that those are the same things, right? Anti-Semitism is real and it has no place. I will stand up for my Jewish folks the same way I would stand up for anybody. And I learned my anti-Zionism from Jewish folks who understand that when they said never again, they meant to anybody, not just to them. And so here we are. So we got to talk about Gaza. That's the first thing. You got to educate yourself about Gaza. There's so much misunderstandings. If you don't know where to start, I suggest, hit a Google search, but also check out Except for Palestine, Mark Lamont Hill's book. Check out Night School with Mark Lamont Hill, his YouTube show, super important show. It's amazing. Check that out. But we have to continue to talk about it. We have to resist the conflation of anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. And then also, we got to create the space for folks when they do learn the difference, when they do realize that they've been bamboozled, that they've been lied to, and they want to get on the right side, we got to let them join the right side. Right? Some really concrete things that can happen. Right now, it is illegal to criticize Israel in lots of states. In my home state, in Minnesota, for example, that's absurd. You can criticize America all you want, but you can't criticize Israel. That's not okay. You can't join boycott, divest, and sanctions movements. We're all boycotting Target right now, but you can't boycott Israel. That's wild, right? And we ain't the land of the free if we can't do that. Y'all. And so those are some things we can get more into the mainstream, more accepted. So the BDS movement, we can talk about the ways that military aid goes to Israel uncompromisingly, right? And we have a different relationship with Israel than any other country. All of those things need to be a part of our political calculus, our organizing calculus, our dinner conversations, y'all. Our dinner conversations should include Gaza, should include Palestine. The expansion of settlements in the West Bank needs to absolutely stop. We need to start adhering to international law. Benjamin Netanyahu has a warrant for his arrest. I don't know about y'all, but where I'm from, when you got a warrant from your arrest, you ain't out traipsing around the world. He's been in multiple countries, about to go to Germany. He was at the White House with an active arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court. We have to be a full member of the international community. I've said this before. One of the things as a restorative justice practitioner that you learn is that accountability is about your relationship to community. It's about your responsibility to others. And you can't actually hold anybody else accountable. You have to hold a community accountable. And so right now, America is rogue. And the question is, who's our community? Who do we see ourselves in community with and in relationship to? And how are they going to demand better from us? And the American people right now have a very specific role within that community. The American people can say, not in our name. We are going to educate ourselves. We are going to figure out how to stand up and put an end to this genocide. And so that's the antidote to that. Okay. Kevin, what's up? Tina, what's up? Wanda Moore, what's up? Like this live, please. Invite your friends. We are at the part of the show where I take questions, where we do live questions. Hold on, we got a restriction over here. What is this? What's the restriction? What happened? Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. Violates community guidelines. Oh, that's definitely because I talked about Palestine, y'all. That's definitely because I talked about Palestine. I hope not. Everybody's here, right? Y'all can hear me? Jess, wow, how you doing? Thank you. Are you saying wow because of the restrictions? All right, we got a question over here on YouTube. With American empire dying, how does this help those in power? Yeah, so this is so here's one of the lies that Americans tell poor people, right? Ain't that crazy? Uh but y'all are still here, so thank you for being here. Make sure you tell your friends, join us every Thursday, please. Like, share, invite your friends right now. I want to answer this question. So we got a question, TikTokers over here on YouTube. With American empire dying, how does this help those in power? The thing that America does to poor people that it doesn't do to rich folks, it tells the truth to rich folks and it lies to poor people, and that's this idea of patriotism. There's no such thing as American empire dying because the people in power don't care about America. They don't care about Americans. They care about their dollars. Donald Trump just said he's going to give citizenship to Russian oligarchs if they can pay $5 million, right? He don't care about Americans. There's nothing America first about his agenda. And all these goofies who are falling in line thinking that that's what this is are dead ass wrong, and they know it. All the people in power know it. All the people in power know it. Stephen Miller knows it. Steve Bannon knows it. Elon Musk is a South African national. Come on, right? He's an immigrant himself. There's no such thing as the American empire in their minds. They don't care about America. They don't care about Americans. They care about money. That's what this is about. And so that brings us to a question over here on TikTok. Do you think the economic blackout will make a difference? Yo, I really do, actually. Because of what I just said. People speak with their dollars. Companies care about the bottom line, right? And so how we do that though matters. So one, Target's stock has plummeted, right? Their shareholders are now suing, saying that they withheld the effects of a boycott would have on their stock price. All of that, right? So I do think it happens. Look at history. The Montgomery bus boycott certainly worked. The divestment movement in South Africa, the apartheid, that definitely worked. But then, yes, Jess, you're absolutely right. So this tomorrow, the 28th, that's tomorrow, right? Yeah, the 28th, not spending money anywhere at the big three, Walmart, Amazon, Target. I think that will matter, right? But what matters more than that is not spending it all month or continuing to not spend it. I actually saw something on Instagram that was making its ways that were like, what you should do is make sure you delete your app, close your account, maybe even fill your carts up every week like you would and leave them abandoned. That demonstrates to the companies that y'all would have had this money, but you didn't. You made these choices and now I'm hurting your books. And I think that would matter. And I think if we sustain that, we would see a difference. We certainly would see a difference. So yes, I do think that would work. Jess, I think you're absolutely right. It's the long game. I mean, think about the Montgomery bus boycott was not a weekend, y'all. It was not a weekend. It was the real deal. Okay, it was the real deal. Other questions? Megan, thank you for being here. We're at the part of the show where I'm taking live questions. Make sure you like this live if you're watching. Invite your friends to join. YouTubers, make sure you like this. Share the link. If you're just joining us and you want to see the rest, you can hop over to the YouTube, and it goes up. It gets posted up there for sure. Subscribe to the channel, all that. What questions? What other questions do we got? Dana, what's up? What y'all think of that Luka and AD trade though? We haven't talked about that. I still care about my athletics. I still care about my athletics. We got 3 people on here. Peaches, how you doing? Jess, what you laughing at? We gotta find some joy out here, y'all. We gotta find joy out here. Man, I cannot tell y'all, I look forward to the antidote all week, man. I love being online with y'all. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. What questions do we have? I love questions. Let me talk my shit. I can't believe they restricted it off of that, too. Ain't that wild? Ooh-wee. Sheesh. Sheesh. Any other questions? Otherwise, we about to get up out of here. We're about to get up out of here. I really want to take more questions, though. I love this. Again, this is the antidote where we talk about what's happening in the world, and I try to make the case that we could do better. We could solve the division and the hatred and the isolation that plagues our society by embracing things that the right might call woke. Being a social justice warrior. It's always the goofballs that ain't never busted a grape that want to talk about social justice warriors too. That's what kills me. It just tickles me. It either tickles me or it grinds my gears depending on what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm hangry, it grinds my gears. Especially because I actually threw these hands for this thing and it done messed me up. There's real consequences to this. There's real consequences out here. Man, never bust a grape. Medicaid cuts, state of Minnesota, how long will it take for families and children to lose coverage? That is a really, really good question. You know, I think what will happen and what will matter to that is what the representatives do, right? What do Democrats do in the House? What do they do in the Senate? Obviously, the bill passed the House. What's going to happen? I think there's also a question about what blue states with blue governors, what they'll do to keep those things from happening. You know, I'm in Atlanta now, but from Minneapolis, Northeast Minneapolis, stand up. And I remember being there with we had an $18 billion surplus. The MFT was striking. The district was saying they didn't have no money while the state sat on an $18 billion surplus. So I think what I would love to see happen, y'all, I'm just checking these YouTube comments. What I would love to see happen is for us to radically rethink how we distribute resources, right? Not playing by the rules. Clearly, they're not playing by the rules, right? They're not even pretending. We got Elon Musk speaking at a cabinet meeting. They ain't even saying he's the leader of Doge because they know to lead a government agency, you have to be nominated and approved by the Senate, and that wouldn't happen. So they're skirting the rules. They don't care about the rules at all. And so I'm wondering where do we bend the rules in favor of people? That's what I would love to see. And I think Minnesota is fortunate. Keith Ellison has taken a pretty bold stance. I'm not saying he's gonna save nobody. Don't get me wrong. I do rock with Keith. I rock with him in certain ways, but he's a Democrat, and I don't think Democrats are gonna save us. But I think that there's some hope there. There's some hope for mitigation, and we could put pressure on them. Again, we could put pressure to do these things, right? So that's I don't know. In terms of a specific timeline, I don't know how long that's going to take. I think that's a TBD. We'll see what Democrats do in the Senate. I don't understand why these appointments, how any of the nominees got appointed. Like, how did a quorum get reached? I would just stop participating. I think, call the representatives. Absolutely. I think continuing to do those things matter, especially because sometimes we just need to feel like we're doing something, and that is the something we can do. For better or worse, that is something. I don't think that can be the end-all, be-all, though, right? I think we can't call the representative and then not have the conversation with your uncle. I think we got to do both, or 3 things, or 4 things even, right? Or 4 things even. All right. Other questions? What do we got here? What's up? What's up? Damn, it's good to see so many people, y'all. Look it. I love it. If you haven't already, or if you want to just give me another one, go ahead and like this. That lets TikTok know that people enjoy watching me, especially since we got flagged. But now we have people here. I ain't mad at it at all. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Susie. All right, y'all. What other questions you got? What else should we talk about? What else? What's on your brains? What's on your brains? If you don't know me, this is The Antidote. I'm Ryan Burden. I'm a professor, author, cultural worker. I run Lyric Cultural Coaching. You could check us out. My website is all in the bio. On YouTube, it's on here in the description. Check that out. If you're somebody that's like, yo, I want to get involved and I want to learn how to support DEI. I want to know the ins and outs. What does that mean? All of that. We're actually, myself and a colleague, Anika Naila, running a cohort, a learning community called DEI 2.0. New rules, new tools. It's a 6-week program. We're going to meet every other Sunday. And yeah, come get with us. 6-part. We're going to 3 months, every other Sunday. Lear, good question, Jess. Lear is the Celtic god of the sea, so that's a shout to my cultural ancestry. I'm Irish. It also is, that's my interruptions of whiteness too. We lost our Celtic culture when we became white. So free Ireland and resist whiteness, y'all. That's what that is. We got some new folks on here. If you're just joining, you want to hear what the hell we were talking about for the last 43 minutes, 45 minutes, this will be posted on the YouTube channel. You can catch it all out. You even get this part. You'll hear me talking to you. That's kind of a trip. You'll see me talking to you right now and saying this. We got people over here on the YouTube. I don't see no new questions, though. It's hard to look at both cameras. I wonder how that's going to go. I wonder if that lowers my YouTube views because I'm looking at y'all. I don't know. Maybe I should put the TikTok camera right here, too. Maybe next week we'll do that. But I liked having the different angle, I liked that. Susie, yeah, what? I shouldn't have it where I have to look at different places. That's kind of an amateur mistake, ain't it? I'm still learning how to do this streaming and all that. Learning. All right, y'all. Well, if there's no more questions, the camera should be together. Thank you, Susie. Hey, I'm looking for a producer or anybody like that. Let me know. Hit up my inbox. One more time, if you're watching this, go ahead and like it. We do this every week, 8 o'clock on Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain. 6 o'clock Mountain. Next week, the cameras are going to be together. Susie, hold me to that. Tell your friends. Thank you so much for being here. I love y'all. Let's build together, y'all. We can heal from the hate, from the division, from the isolation. This is the antidote. Let's do that together. Peace. Bye, TikTok, folks.